Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Stardew Valley here on the Game Professor channel. I'm your host, the Game Professor, and we're going to have another cloudy and windy day tomorrow. That seems to be what we're getting. And very displeased spirits today. Oh my goodness, what are we doing to annoy the spirits so? What do we have from living off the land? It's Blackberry season. Bushes across the countryside are overflowing with ripe fruit. Just go outside and see for yourself. Definitely a good time to just go around and collect blackberries. Ah, Linus. Hello, it's blackberry season right now. The bushes are full of them and I want to pick some, but I lost my basket. Can you help? Absolutely, Linus, absolutely. But first, let's pick some cranberries. Because cranberries are going to be one of the things that we use to make lots of wine. So, at least in the short term, we'll have some good cranberry wine going. It's not one of the best wine fruits, but it's not a bad one. I don't actually know for sure which is better monetarily to do with cranberries, either forgot what I was saying for a second, either in terms of doing jelly or wine. So, and I didn't even think about the fact that I had all those trap bobbers yesterday. So, whoopsie doopsie. That was smart of me. And here we are. That is what a blackberry bush looks like. You can tell that is where the salmonberries were, but now it's blackberries instead. So, because we're having a bad luck day, I think that that's actually going to be a big thing we do today, is just go around and collect lots of blackberries. We have the sashimi as a good energy source for when we're mining and such, but blackberries are right up there in terms of how useful they are for that sort of thing. So we're going to take advantage. But first off, I'm going to sell these eggs and store the ones that I'm not going to sell. And this is really more just preemptive sort of use for the eggs. Eventually I will probably just be saving them all to make mayo, but for now we're doing this division of selling the brown ones, keeping the white ones. That way I can get a nice surplus of eggs in the fridge so that I can have them whenever I want to make things that require eggs, and I don't have to think, oh, I have to purposefully think to save an egg right now. But got a couple blackberries there. But here is Linus's basket. You found the blackberry basket, or the berry basket. Better return it to Linus. So let's do that quickly. Just gonna basically do a whole big berry run around the valley. Not gonna really use much energy today, most likely, but instead just look around at every single berry bush that we can possibly find and try to get berries from it, purely for the purpose of having energy down the line when we may need it. And to build off some of the discussions that we were having last episode in terms of sustainability, and I very well may have mentioned this back when salmonberries were the berry, the ability to use the environment of Stardew Valley in this manner, being able to trust, oh, these berries will be around in the correct season for a year, is very reflective of this sort of living with the environment and living in a sustainable way with the environment specifically that I really appreciate about this game. No, I lost one into the water, darn it. Ugh. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Everything's okay. Alright, nothing there. And I'm sure I have some people yelling at me, why did you cut down those pine trees? Anybody who's played the game or watched a playthrough of the game before will know that there is a cutscene that utilizes one of those trees, and it's actually a really nice cutscene, but it will grow back before the cutscene happens. We still have quite a ways to go in terms of hearts with that particular character. But returning the basket to Linus, my basket! Thank you, this means a lot to me. Oh, I can't say anything to you? Have a hazelnut. This is a great gift, thank you. Wonderful. And Linus is at 4 now, so I think he might start giving us more recipes. I think, maybe? I'm very bad at keeping track of when you get things in regard to hearts with villagers, so I could be completely wrong. I'm most likely completely wrong, but we're going with that. I'm gonna cut down all these trees just to give us some more room for cutting down the tree, I'm cutting down the weeds to give us more room to cut down the trees, which I am cutting down to give us more wood. How many additions can I make upon these statements? How ridiculous can I make myself sound? I'm sure you all know by now that I'm very good at sounding ridiculous. So, don't you love it? I'm sure that my videos are the most interesting to watch and listen to just because of how random and ridiculous I sound when I'm talking. So, thank you all for watching, always. I really do appreciate it, because I know that I am not the best at commentating yet. I'm trying, I'm working hard at it, guys, but it's in part due to the fact that I have to there is so much time between when I record. If I was constantly just recording and editing and that's all I was doing, I'd probably be much better at it. I envy the gamers and YouTubers in general who are able to make YouTube their lives. But alas, that is not the case for me. And I think, yeah, while we're going around and collecting berries, I am going to cut down trees, because if I remember correctly, trees generally will grow back within 2 weeks of being cut down. I think that's right. It might be faster than that, but 2 weeks is the number I have in my head. So I'm going to cut them down now when I know we have more than 2 weeks left in the season, so that I know that I'm going to have trees come winter. Speaking back to that whole sustainability of cutting down trees thing, I have had this happen to me far too many times in this game, where I will cut every single tree down in the valley right before winter, and then there are no trees for me to cut down ever in winter. It is not a position you want to be in, especially if you are using wood to upgrade things, if you are using wood to make devices, whatever it may be. If you are using wood in any significant amount, you never want to cut down all the trees too close to winter. You never want to do it. I swear it will be the biggest mistake you ever make in Stardew, if you ever do it. And I've made it multiple times. And I am just now here on camera telling you I'm not going to make that mistake this time. Inevitably, I probably will still make that mistake. So if I do, I hope you all will point back to this video and say, hey, Game Professor, you said you weren't going to do this. Well, I'm trying not to, at the very least. That's why I am mentioning it on camera and making a point of actually discussing it. And also just in regard, again, to the sustainability elements of it, it's like the fact that the game forces you to contend with that if you do cut every tree down at the wrong time of year, it's like, that's pretty big. Pretty significant sort of commentary you have there. And we have a tree or a train passing through the valley. I'll go back up and check to see if it dropped anything, but I'm not going to go up while it's going. They've updated the nature of trains going through the valley in a way that I really appreciate. Insofar as if it drops stuff, you can go back up and get what's dropped at a later time. Essentially same day sort of thing. And I really appreciate that. Let's see here. That should be good. And I'm not going to do all of the trees down here. I think I'll get the rest of the ones that are around this pond. So these ones that are visible on the screen right now. And then I'll go back north again. Yeah, I'll go down and get that one too. I technically shouldn't, since it wasn't on the screen when I said that. But I'm going to. And inevitably, yep, I see another one. This is what happens. I'm like, I'm not going to get all these trees. And then I just keep seeing them more and more. Yeah, alright. And I will clarify, it did not mean the pond that is on the right-hand side of the screen right now. I meant the one that was above this one. So I just get distracted by the desire for all the wood. And now I'm just going to go around this one as well. What I won't do is I won't get all of the trees that are over on the right-hand side. On the other side of this pond, because I know I don't have time for that, and still being able to go up to where the train is to try to pick up anything that dropped. Because I don't think it lasts for more than a day. I might be wrong. Actually, no, I feel like either on this save file or a different save file, I got leprechaun shoes that way. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. We'll see. I am still going to try. Actually, yeah, I'm going to leave these ones. I'm going to leave all the ones over here. We'll get the remaining ones that are around the upper left pond here. Ones that I left earlier. Because that's just the pattern in which I cut down trees. I'll come over to this side to a point and then leave them and get them on my way back up. I'm gonna come back around this way. I don't want to risk that going into the pond. And ultimately, I did the perfect amount of cutting of trees for the amount of energy that I got myself. So, perfect. Let's go up to the train, see if we got anything that fell off. Fingers crossed for more wood and stone. And coal, really. Those are the big ones always. And I don't think I've commented on this yet, but oh my goodness, we can see at night now. The magic of a glow ring. Oh, Linus, hello. Game Profess, come stand next to the fire pit. It feels great. I was hoping you'd come by sometime. I wanted to say sorry for mistrusting you at first. Most people don't treat me well, so I've learned to be cautious. But you've been uncommonly nice to me. You're a unique person, and I consider you a good friend. Aw, Linus. Hey, I want to show you something. Come inside. I thought this was at a higher friendship level with him. Okay. Ah, there we go. See, this is a special kind of fish bait that I make. It's top quality stuff. I'd eat it myself. Here, I want you to have the recipe. This is huge. Learned how to craft wild bait. And the reason this is so huge is, frankly, from an update that they put through with the current most up-to-date version of the game. And that is that wild bait can potentially net you 2 fish. Alright, looks like it was probably a passenger train. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We still got plenty of stuff for the day. But with wild bait, you... because you can net two fish, it becomes much more worthwhile to use it. Before that, it was just a slightly higher bite rate than the regular bait, and probably the best video that demonstrates the differences is one by Dangerously Funny. He really went super in-depth on all of the math of everything in that regard in a really impressive way. I will link to that either in the description or in the cards. I need to actually start using the cards for things, and I don't know what all to do with that, so that's why I don't. Oh, went too fast there, but made some money off those cranberries. Always good. But the big thing now is you still get that bite rate increase, so you're going to inherently catch more fish with it, but you also get that chance of getting 2 fish, and that's just awesome. Neutral? Alright, that looks good. Alright then. In that case... dear Game Profess, 1 week from today we are holding the Stardew Valley Fair in the town square. It's the biggest event of the year, drawing people from all across the country to our humble town. If you'd like, you can set up a Grange display for the event. Just bring up to 9 items that best showcase your talents. You'll be judged on the quality and diversity of your display. The fair starts at 9 a.m. Don't miss it. Mayor Lewis. Always good to be aware of. Ooh, we got some ancient fruit. Beautiful. Always excited for the ancient fruit. Let me see here. Ah, that's where I'm putting this stuff now. The big problem with trying to play multiple save files is you can't keep track of where things are. You really can't. Eggplant. Let's do this. Just get everything in here. But I'm gonna go to the mines just to mix things up a little bit, do something a little different. Because we're good on wood right now. I feel pretty good about the number of blackberries we have for now also. We're doing okay on everything wood, stone, and coal. I know how quickly I'm going to start running out of coal once I start making preserve jars, though, because I can show you here. It's 8 coal per preserve jar, so it just really adds up very quickly. So I want to make sure that I'm thinking about that ahead of time. And yeah, I'm gonna get the hoe as well. And actually, you know what? I'll bring my fishing rod in the off chance that I decide to fish a bit on one of the fishing levels. I'm probably not going to. I'm mostly going for copper or coal. I do this every single time. I mix up copper and coal. They are completely different things. How do I do this? I swear. I will get these blackberries while I'm at it, just for good measure. Never hurts to get more blackberries. Move them over to the food side of the bar. But did the wrong one there. There we go. Alright, we're going to level 40. Like I said, mostly going for coal. I just want to make sure that I have all the coal that I need in mind. And eventually, I'll have to check to see where we are in the Adventurers Guild. But getting the dust sprite kill completed thing within the Adventurers Guild, it gets you the burglar ring. And the burglar ring is a really good ring. Because, I mean, obviously we see the advantages of our magnet ring and our glow ring, just in terms of being able to pick up more things and then being able to see in dark spaces. But the burglar ring, what it does is it increases the chance, aka it tips the RNG in your favor for better drops from enemies when you fight them. So one of the big things that can influence is being able to get another prismatic shard, being able to get what else are really good drops? Life elixir from the iridium bats in Skull Cavern, and spicy tuna from the serpents in Skull Cavern. Now, spicy tuna is a really good food in general because it not only increases speed, but it also increases luck. One of the big reasons I go for the sashimi as my go-to food for replenishing health and such is it's easy to make, and you don't have to really think too hard about what you're doing. But if you're able to get spicy tuna, just because of the luck increase it gives you, it's pretty big. So the burglar's ring, for when we eventually get down to Skull Cavern, really big deal. That'll also inherently increase the likelihood, like I said, of an enemy dropping an iridium or a prismatic shard. That's what I'm thinking of. There are the purple slimes in Skull Cavern also can potentially have a chance of dropping iridium bars, so also really good to keep in mind. Come on, there we go. Oopsie, my goodness. I managed to position everything with my mic stand perfectly, so it's really easy for me to bump the base with my foot. Both cats are fast asleep, so I have to create all the mayhem now. Just want to see if I get more coal from breaking things up, and frozen geodes. Always good to get more geodes. Alright. Nothing else really. Bit more iron, bit more frozen geodes. And I'm not looking to completely deplete my energy multiple times. in this, so I'm probably just going to go until I reach exhaustion and then go back up. That should hopefully put me in a position where I can still check the Adventurers Guild. Perfect, more dust sprites. You are who I want to defeat, so come at me, bro. There we go. Come on. There we go. Beauteous. I will get this iron just because it's right there visible. I really dislike that floor layout that we just left. It's unfortunate because I think it's actually a really nice floor layout just in terms of visual appeal, but it's very annoying to have to deal with because inevitably the ladder is probably already spawned further up near the top, or it will spawn further up near the top, and you're just kind of stuck breaking rocks very early on. This layout's a little bit bigger than I usually like, but it usually is a little forgiving in terms of what it spawns for you. And then, of course, I mention this every time, I feel like, but I love this layout. And all of the other iterations of it on the other floor types, on the other biomes. There we go. Wood mallet is useless to me, but alright. At least gonna get all the iron. Just because. Whoopsie. There we go. Have a nice little vein over here. And plenty of ladders to choose from. There we go. And this actually might be a bit of a short episode for once. I know the idea of that's crazy, I feel like. Oh, an emerald. Definitely want to get that. Come on, ghost. There we go. Alright. Well, I will get rid of that. I will get rid of that. Yeah. I never do that. I never waste a bit of tackle like that, but it was close enough to being done that it's like, I'd rather just move one of the good bobbers to the rod rather than having it take up an inventory spot. That is yet another thing that we'll be upgrading soon, is the backpack. I am very much ready to get the biggest backpack because, my goodness, it doesn't seem like you would have much trouble with the big backpack filling up quickly, but as soon as you start hitting the point where it happens all the time. It's very annoying. And it's interesting because it very much depends on playthrough, I find. Because I've had playthroughs where I've been able to pretty much use the big backpack for the majority of the playthrough without any issue. And if anything, the biggest backpack kind of almost gives me too much space. Let's see, can I get a way down? Yes, I can. Perfect. Well, and this area is infested, and it's a floor that automatically has a ladder at the end, so let's see if I can kill more dust sprites and get more coal. Only 13 coal, which, for a neutral luck day, isn't that bad. I'm not really complaining about that. But I have definitely had considerably better luck, or better days in terms of coal. Let me just see here. Yeah, I don't need that. Yet another detail of having to remember across save files is, have I gotten all the dwarf scrolls yet? But, yes I have, since I've unlocked that. Now that I look at that, I'm sure that I've gotten them all. But, let's see here. Come back when you've got something to show me, kid, alright? Okay, so we have about a third of the way on slimes, about halfway, a little more than halfway on the void spirits, very close on bats, still ways to go on skeletons, pretty close on cave insects, a third of the way on duggies, just over halfway on dust sprites, halfway on rock crabs, and then we have 3 enemies that we have not met yet. So those are going to be enemies that we just see in Skull Cavern. But since we are at the point now where our energy is completely depleted, I'm just going to collect the berries that we see as we are on our way back to the farm, and we will call it a night. And yeah, it's going to be a slightly shorter episode today. It happens sometimes, guys. Even, I guess, well, technically, I'm going to bed earlier in-game, both yesterday in-game and today in-game, so naturally, I'm not using all of the time that is available to me. Therefore, it's gonna have a bit left over, so to speak. So, that is fine. Let me just look here at what I have gems-wise. Yeah, I think I'm good on that front. So yeah, let's go to bed and call this an episode. But as always, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you always know when I have new videos coming out, and follow the links in the description and down below to the Facebook page and Discord server so that you can join the conversation. As always, it's been wonderful to have you watching, and this is your Game Professor signing off. I'll see you next time, everybody.